To access your Etsy Shop Manager page, you just have to click on this little shop icon right here. All right, get used to seeing this page because this is where you're going to be running your Etsy business from. So a little tour. The first tab that loads is your dashboard. And this is where you're going to get an overview of what's going on with your Etsy shop and what you could be doing to make it better as well. So you're going to have very quick stats on the total views and visits and orders that you've had. And then that's in the last 7 days, but you can choose the time period that you want. Next, there's going to be your shop's checklist. And here Etsy is going to be constantly recommending you things for you to improve your shop. So this is actually really useful. So I will always recommend that you keep checking this section here. Then there's all the recent activities like active listings, or if you have recent orders or anything that you need to know to take action right away. And then going back to the side menu, here you can click to see your listings. So if we go there, right now we'll see that we only have one. And remember, I wanted this to be only a demo listing. It's not ready yet to be active. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do quickly is actually click on this gear menu and then click deactivate. All right, if I refresh my shop manager now, you see that I have no longer any active listings, and you can use this menu on the right side here, but I have one inactive. So you have not lost all of the work that you've done on that listing. It's just here on inactive, and whenever you're ready to make it active again, you can just find it here and then activate it. There you go. And then you can add it, make a copy and all that. And from here, you can quickly add new listings. You can save them as drafts. And when you do that, they're going to be showing here. If you select that your listing can expire, or if you run out of products once you put the quantity of products and then you go sold out, then they're going to show here as well. And then next we have the messages, and that's where you're going to be communicating with your customers. So if your customers send you any messages, this is where you would go to find those messages. So like your inbox. Next, you have your orders and shipping. So for now, we don't have any orders, but as you start receiving new orders, this is where you're going to be seeing them and where you're going to be taking action as well. So let me show you just what it looks like. The new ones that have not been completed, they have not been fulfilled, they're going to be showing here on this tab, and the past orders are going to be shown under the completed tab. And later on, I'm going to do a test order for you guys to see what it would look like once you have a new order, and then how you would go about fulfilling the order and all of the details associated to new orders. And you can also filter your orders by destination or when it's the ship date and all that. And going back to our side menu, here you're going to have your stats. So if you want to analyze how your shop is doing, how many sales you've been having, or your revenue, as well as where your shoppers are coming from, how they found you, this is where you're going to go. So this is very, very helpful information for you to be constantly optimizing and seeing what's already working so you can invest even more on those strategies. So here Etsy is going to show you how many visits they brought you within their own platform. So either by someone searching on the search box and then finding your page, or through Etsy marketing and all that. And here are the visits that you would be bringing. So if you're bringing customers from other social media platforms, for example, Pinterest or Instagram, it would be showing right here. So you would know if you're doing a good job by bringing new customers, or if they're mainly finding you through the Etsy marketplace. And you can go through and look at specific statistics for each listings and what's performing well and the total revenue. So this is a really important page for your Etsy business growth. And then next, there's the finances tab, and here you have sub options. So your payment account. So here you're going to be able to see all of the recent payments that Etsy has sent to you, as well as all of the Etsy fees that you have paid before. So we have paid 20 cents to list this one product right here because I just wanted to create this demo listing. So I went ahead and just paid the 20 cents. And here, whenever you make a sale, it's going to show you everything, all of the different fees that you've made, or the revenue that you made as well. And if we go back to the sub accounts, here are all of the payment settings. So if you want to change your credit card or your bank account or anything, that's where you would go. Also, here you can choose how often you want to get paid. So you want once a week, every 2 weeks, every single day. Here you can choose your deposit schedule. You can also choose how you want to collect sales tax. If you want to collect for every single state, for example, within the United States. And here Etsy gives you a little bit more information on how sales tax work within Etsy. And if you want to know more about sales tax, there are lots of new articles within Etsy that can help you with all different aspects of your Etsy shop, including this one. So you can go ahead and click and read all about it. You can change the currency that your products are offered, your billing and your address. Everything will be here under the finance tab. Also, you can integrate Etsy with accounting software such as QuickBooks. So that's a new integration and very, very helpful for business owners, especially as you grow your Etsy business. And that makes it a lot easier for you to keep up with all of the different transactions and revenue that you've made. You can also connect with TurboTax, and here is some legal and tax information that Etsy provides as well. And then going back to the main menu, here you have marketing, and here are some of the options. So you can search analytics, which is a new thing that Etsy is providing. Here is going to be a little bit more analytics in depth that Etsy is just now launching. As you can see, it's a beta program. And here you're going to be able to really understand your profit and your revenue and the traffic that you're generating within Etsy Marketplace and the specific listings that were found, the amount of impressions that they got, the conversion rate, which is the percentage of people who visited your listing. What was the percentage that actually bought your product? And that's also a great tool for you to understand what you could be improving, if it's working, if maybe you should be improving the images or the title of your listings to see if you can get that conversion rate higher. And then going back to marketing, this is where you're going to be creating your Etsy ads from as well, if you choose to do that. And we're going to have a whole module talking about Etsy ads and other types of advertising for your Etsy shop. And we're also going to be talking about sales and coupons and how to create those within Etsy and the best strategies to actually grow your Etsy shop and attract even more customers using sales and coupons. And as I mentioned before here in the course, Etsy also offers this social media integration. And you're going to see that once you start creating new listings, Etsy is going to create designs and graphics for you to share on your different social media accounts. So here you're going to be able to connect all of your social media accounts and then automatically share content from your Etsy shop straight to your social media accounts. So for now, I'm not going to do that. We're going to be talking about this in a future video. And then lastly, you're going to see that you would have access to customize your Etsy shop address if you decide to upgrade to the Etsy Plus account. But don't worry, we're going to be reviewing the Etsy Plus account in the next video, so we're going to be talking more about that. So moving on, next on the menu are all of the different integrations that Etsy offers. So as I mentioned before, Etsy offers integration with Pinterest, with Marmalade, with QuickBooks for your accounting. So there's so many opportunities for you to automate your Etsy business. So be sure to go through and look at all of the different integration options depending on your needs. And then moving on, here's the community and help. And this is where you're going to be finding all of the forum with the other Etsy sellers that might be sharing maybe some of the issues or curiosities that you might have about your Etsy shop, as well as Etsy help with all of Etsy articles and helpful information for you to understand more and more aspects of your Etsy business. And if you're having an issue as well, you might be able to find the answer there. There's the seller handbook, shipping help, site policies, as well as how to contact Etsy support. So this is where you go. And then here are the settings of your Etsy account. So here's your subscription. So if you want to upgrade, this is where you would go to upgrade it. Some info and appearance about your shop. We're going to be coming back to this, as I said, when we're going to be editing and optimizing our Etsy shop. But just so you can have a quick look, this is where you would go. It would be under settings. Also, the about your shop section, we're going to be coming back to this in order to optimize and edit everything so it looks amazing. And then some of the optional features that Etsy offers that we're going to be talking about in a later video as well. Some layout options or gift wrapping options, as well as things associated to running your Etsy business. If you're going on vacation, if you want to close your shop, if you want to download data, all of that. Also, some shipping settings. So this is more specifically if you're going to be shipping physical products and all of the different information where you're going to be shipping from. You can add multiple profiles if you have different places that you're going to be using to actually ship the products from, and then the different guarantees that you can offer your customers, rates, package preferences, everything. Also, all about production partners. So if you're just reselling products that were made by someone else, you can create different production partners here, because Etsy really like to understand how your product is made, because they really pride themselves on offering unique products to the customers and then giving customers as much information as possible about the product. Here's where you go to if you choose to run offsite ads and all of the different information about that. This is an optional service offered by Etsy where you can sign up some of your listings for Etsy to advertise it for you, and you only pay if you make a sale. And we're going to be talking about this when we discuss the different Etsy fees, but if you make a sale, you pay them 15% of the total sale price, but that's only if you make a sale. So if you do choose to sign up for this program, this is where you would go. And then if you want to change the language or anything about your shop as well, and connecting your Facebook shops, you can do so here. And then moving on, this is where you would go to see your shop storefront. So this is where you'd click and you would come back here to the page that we were before. So to go back to the shop manager, you can just click here. The next option is where Etsy actually has a partnership with Pattern, and they help you develop your own website for you to expand your brand beyond Etsy. Lastly, if you want to sell in person and if you actually want to start accepting payments for if someone comes to your home or your own shop or business that you have, you can partner with Square to actually receive those payments, and it's all done through Etsy, so the customer has that reassurance. And then lastly, if you want to change anything about your profile and your actual account information, like your email address, your password, or anything about your specific Etsy account profile, this is where you go if you want to sign out. And last but not least, if you want to see Etsy Marketplace, you can just come to this drop down menu here, and then you will be seeing Etsy just as a buyer and not as a seller. So you can switch back and forth between those and whenever you want. So this was our shop manager tour. Hopefully this was helpful. As I said, get used to this because there's so many amazing features here that can help you grow your Etsy shop business and make you even more successful than I know you're going to be. So if you have any questions, be sure to leave those below, and let's go ahead and get to the next video.